What's up guys, Orangebo here, and welcome back to some more Sonic Origins. Now if you guys remember in the last video, we started the story mode and began playing through the first Sonic game. And we went through Green Hill Zone, I believe even Marble Zone as well. And so obviously in this video we're going to be continuing playing through more of the game, and I believe we're going to be playing through Spring Yard Zone and Labyrinth Zone. Yeah, Labyrinth Zone is always a zone that everybody always seems to really dread while playing through this game, and based on my experience, I can see why. And we're going to be experiencing that like all together now. So with that said, let's get right into it. Ah yes, Spring Yard Zone. I gotta say, this has to be one of my favorite zones in terms of like its music. It always has really, really great music to listen to. I don't know, I can't really seem to describe the music like very well, but it's always seemed to be one of my favorite zones in the game, all just because of like how great sounding the music is. And so, in case you guys are wondering, I'm actually going back over here because yeah, because there's always a ring box and also a shield box, and they're always located on this section of the level. I figure it's a good time to grab it now if I'm going to want to collect 50 rings for the special stages. And also, it just also really serves as another really great pathway in order to get through the first act. But I also want to make sure I play carefully too, so I don't lose any of these rings. Okay, pretty good. This section, like you can easily roll into a ball, or maneuver through the ramp section. But you just obviously gotta watch out for those spike balls. Trust me, this is one of those stages where you kind of really have to watch your step. There's always gonna be some kind of hazard that's gonna be getting in your way, especially these guys. I don't know the name of these particular badniks, but I remember they can cause you some major problem if you're not careful. Alright, Act 1 is now complete. Alright. This special stage, I can't be the only one who's always thought that this special stage is very similar to, if I remember correctly, I think this is the 5th one, so the last one was the 4th one. And I can't be the only one that has noticed there's a bit of a similar design for how to maneuver through those two special stages. There's always two different paths to take. One of them will obviously lead you out to get through the end of the special stage, and obviously the other one's the correct one that leads you all the way to the Chaos Emerald. It's just another one of those special stages where it has a bit of a trial and error. God, I sometimes keep forgetting the correct path to take. So anyway though, so this is one of those special stages where it takes a bit of trial and error to be able to figure out the right path to go, so you don't accidentally get out of the special stage when you don't want to be. And I thought I was gonna slip up when I get there because I kind of may have spaced out a little bit as I'm trying to do this. I said this before in the last video, and it kind of bears repeating here, but I really am mostly really good at playing through this game, but sometimes it's just always hard to do commentary while also doing gameplay at the same time. So I apologize in advance if I end up being rather quiet a few instances. I just have to really concentrate on this. Oh, that was a bit of a delayed reaction for the music. I don't think I've ever experienced that before. Well, but there we go. The 5th Chaos Emerald. With another coin bonus. So, I think I may have said this at one... I haven't really said this before, but, there's... Everybody... God damn it. Everybody has their own, God, why do I keep messing up already on this stage? Anyway, so everybody has their own definitive way of how they like to play Sonic 1. everybody has their own specific way how they like to play Sonic 1. Wow. I did say that I was really good normally at playing through this game, but like I said, there are times where I'm just gonna keep messing up. It's why I don't know how some people are able to do commentary, you know, do playthrough videos like on a normal basis when they have to concentrate on the game too at the same time. Alright, but so where was I? Oh yeah, so everybody has their own specific way they like to play Sonic 1. They either like to play the original Sega Genesis version, they either like to play the Sega Genesis version, or they like to play the DS version of the Classic Collection, or they somehow like to play the 3DS version of the game, or even the original mobile version that was released from Christian Whitehead. For me, on the other hand, I have two different ways I like to play this game. I think I'm starting to get to the point where I kind of like playing through the Sonic Origins version, just because of the fact that it's just very convenient to play with all the other classic titles included. Get out of those bumpers, man. This part's always a major pain to get through. Anyway, so I like playing through the original Sonic 1. I always like playing through Sonic 1 from the mobile version that was created by Christian Whitehead. And I'm coming to the point now where I kind of do really just like playing through the Sonic Origins version, just because of the fact that it's very convenient being able to play through the classic titles like all in one collection. But I can see why some people wouldn't exactly like playing through this version of the game. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be one-to-one exactly like how the original Sega Genesis version is, but it's a pretty neat way of being able to play through the game. Alright, oh, somehow I was able to get enough rings to hop into the special stage. That's good. Another version of Sonic 1, though, I will say right here and now, that I actually really enjoy playing through, and some people will argue that it's probably the definitive way of being able to play through Sonic 1, is a game, a fan game called Sonic 1 Forever. It's basically just the original game, but includes a lot of neat enhances in it to make it probably the most definitive way of playing through the game. Not to say that the anniversary edition of this game for Sonic Origins isn't good, but with Sonic 1 Forever, you get a lot more options to configure, so you can play Sonic 1 the way how you want to play it. Oh, and just like that, got all the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, see, the Sonic 1 special stages are just really not that difficult to get through if you know what you're doing with it. Anyway, so Sonic 1 Forever, yeah, in my opinion, it really is just like the definitive way of playing through the game. I know it's kind of being kind of ironic how I just said I do kind of like playing through the Sonic Origins version of Sonic 1, but if I had to choose a version of Sonic 1 that I wouldn't mind always playing through, it definitely has to be Sonic 1 Forever. Like I said, there's just a lot of options you can configure to make it your own way of playing through the game, and it's really amazing with all the stuff that's included with it. So I'll leave a link in the description below in case if any of you are curious enough to want to check it out. But just as a bit of a heads up now, you may have to decompile you may have to use a decompiled version of Sonic 1 in order to play through it. So that's just a little bit of a heads up when we get there. So I know I was just talking a little bit about Spring Yard Zone a lot before, but I don't think I really got a chance to fully talk about one of the reasons why I actually do really enjoy it, apart from the music. Like, the music, it's just so iconic to me. It has a really great beat to it, but I love the stage, for a lot of the backgrounds and a lot of the set pieces that are really included with all of this. It's just, I can't describe it in the best way, but just, there's always just a really nice theme they have going on with this entire stage. God, though, I really do love that background. It's just always so really well illustrated. Alright, there we go. Can I get in there? Nope, can't get in. I don't know how you're supposed to properly get into that particular section. But no! Of course I was gonna get hit. I was trying to get through there as fast as possible. I could be able to get to this section, which includes more rings and, conveniently, another shield. Alright. So obviously we go up here. Oh god. Oh. I sometimes keep forgetting that there's a convenient little platform here so that you don't easily fall off there. If this platform wasn't there, then yeah, I would have died. Alright, let's skip this. And boss time. This boss is always like a really interesting one. I'm happy to stand on one particular spot, waiting for Eggman like to lower himself down. It's very slow paced, but I like the idea of this particular boss battle. It really makes you think a little bit like how you're going to be able to beat this particular boss. I know there's probably a much faster way of being able to beat this, but I'm no speedrunner, so obviously I just do it the way that I feel is convenient enough. And there you go. And with that, Bringyard Zone is completed. I've been dreading having to do the next zone in particular. I know I just said at the beginning, but look, it's not, if you ask me, it's not like one of the worst classic stages for Sonic, but it's the one you really dread the most because what's weird is that Sonic, for some reason, in the history of this series, he can't seem to swim, and I don't get that. Like, I'm not sure if it's a real fact about hedgehogs, if they can't actually swim for real, but just, why can't an anthropomorphic hedgehog like Sonic, who can somehow go super fast, can't seem to be able to swim? It just doesn't really make any sense to me. Yeah, it just doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, this stage is very infamous for the fact that most of the time you're completely submerged within water, and you have to maneuver through while also making sure that you don't drown. Which is why, obviously, the developers implemented all those air bubbles, but it's just like, if you're in a spot, though, where you just can't seem to get any air bubbles, you're kind of screwed. And it always dreads me every time, like always having to see, is the timer going to set off now, or am I going to have to wait a little bit longer for this? You really never know when that timer is going to start going off. So that's why you always got to make sure that you can be able to get through while still making sure that you're still getting air bubbles. Now in that section we just passed, actually, I have actually known that there is a quicker way of getting through this zone. There's a bit of a shortcut you take where you have to go make your way all the way back to the top of the stage, and then you go on a floating platform that gets you through the rest of the way over. Sorry, I may not be the best person to describe this, but like there is a shortcut that allows you to get through this stage much faster. Most of the time, that figures. Most of the time, I usually don't go on that particular shortcut, and oh, here it is. Anyway, no, most of the time I don't usually go on that particular shortcut because it's sometimes hard to pull off. Like, you gotta go on like one of those floating platforms, and you just gotta time it well so that you're still able to make it on in time. If that makes any sense. Alright, so we go for this button here. The music for Lever Zone, I won't deny, is also still very iconic as well. It has a really good, like a sounding music to it. But just, the stage itself is just probably just one of my least favorite, all because on top of like always having to make sure you get air bubbles, you always slog through these stages. It's just another one of those things where, like, I get the developers want to, like, have a good, easy balance of, like, having still fast-paced sequences while you're playing through the game, because obviously Sonic's very fast, but also making it so that, like, you have to slow down every now and then. But I don't know. This is one of those stages where it's just like, I just hate having to go so extremely slow. That's just me, and I bet I'm probably not the only one who thinks this way about it. Alright, let's get this sucker out of here. Oh god, I hate this guy most of all. This guy also appears in Sonic 2, and you really gotta watch out, like, every time when he throws his projectiles at you. And then you get the airball stuff right here. Airball? I meant to say fireballs, and they're from those little statues. Always such a pain. Alright, so press that button. Obviously go through here. This is another trap. You really gotta be careful. You gotta, it's one of those ones where, like, you just gotta be aware of, like how hard you press the jump button. And yeah. Not too hard, but it's just one where you just really gotta pay attention to everything that's around you. And obviously, making sure to always get the air bubbles whenever you get a chance to. Oh, of course I get, I'm usually very good at avoiding those spikes, but this is the one time I ended up by actually hitting them by complete accident. Alright, so, I remember I was trying to say something. Oh, yeah, for those of you guys who are aware, the Game Awards just came out, at the time that I'm recording this video, and to be honest, not really a lot of interesting stuff, like, made me want to really, like, watch it. It's no offense to any of the people, like, who were involved, like, winning some of the awards, like, this year. Like, I bet that all their hard work really paid off for whatever awards they ended up getting. But the problem for me is that I never really played a lot of the games that were nominated, like, this year. Like, I can only remember what... Oh, come on, Air Bubble. Come on. Anyway, so... The problem for me is that, like, I only just knew only about one of the games that was nominated, like, this year. I think it was... Robo Boy? I am blanking on the actual name of the game. Well, whatever, though. Like, this robot platforming game from Sony ended up, like, getting the Game of the Year award. And that's really great for the people that ended up winning. It surprised me that, for once, it's not Nintendo that ended up, like, actually winning this award. Because you think it would be Nintendo that'd be getting some kind of nomination for Best Game of the Year and also winning it as well. But that means that now, when the second Switch console comes out, there's now a more interesting chance of them being able to win the Game of the Year award this time. Anyway, so I hope all the people that ended up winning their respectful awards this year. God, I hate this part. Anyway, so I hope all the people that were nominated for an award this year are really proud, for all the hard work they put into it. But I just seriously just never ended up, like, actually watching the Game Awards this year because, again, I just never really got a chance to play any of those games that were nominated this year. But I bet you a lot of people, I bet there was probably some really good stuff that happened at the awards this year. The only thing I actually ended up hearing about is, Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets were actually involved with this year's Game Awards. I don't think it was the first time they got, involved with it, but it's just so bizarre to see those two guys, like, riffing on the Game Awards themselves. It's like, I'm someone who really enjoys the Muppets, but it's just the one place where I just would not have expected to see any of those two guys get involved with, you know? Just very weird, but kind of humorous if you know the context about what they're talking about. Oh yeah, and I just remembered that, for anybody who's been playing, Sonic X Shadow Generations, that long-awaited DLC that involves Shadow as his movie form just came out yesterday, and it's really shocking to me that we now live in a timeline where Keanu Reeves, the guy who's playing Shadow in the movie, is actually also voicing Shadow in a video game as Shadow himself. It just feels so weird. Like, I just cannot believe that we actually live on this timeline, like, where we actually get to have a game where we play a Shadow with Keanu Reeves' voice coming out of him. But then again, it's also really shocking to believe that we live in a timeline where we're getting a third Sonic movie that's adapting Sonic Adventure 2. And, that we get Keanu Reeves actually voicing Shadow. Hard to believe. We are in a really good time right now for video game movie adaptations. Oh god, no. Oh god, not now. Oh, I never usually go down this route. Why did I do that? I'm not even kidding, guys. This is literally the first time I've ever taken that route down there, and look at the consequences of it. I ended up drowning because of it. So where was I? Oh yeah, like a video game movie adaptation. Or, you know, show adaptations based off of the game. We're living in a really great time right now. We're getting a lot of franchises being adapted into a movie or a show. Like, obviously the Sonic movies. We also have the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. And we have Illumination's, like, a Mario movie, which is obviously going to be getting a sequel. The only adaptation I'm really not crazy about, and I may be alone here, but this is just simply my opinion. The only one that's not really exciting me all that much is... Come on, get down. Anyway, the only one that's just really not got my attention all that much is the Minecraft movie. I don't know. No offense to Jack Black. Like, I obviously love like his performances in a lot of his movies, especially like when he voiced Bowser in the Mario movie. But I don't know. It just feels kind of weird seeing him play a character like Steve, when in reality, wasn't Minecraft always just one of those games where, like, you are the protagonist of your own story for how you play through in order to get towards the Ender Dragon by the end of it, right? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I don't care about the coin box. Now I'm mixing up coins and rings. That's perfect. Anyway, so that's what I've always thought about Minecraft in general. I'm not exactly a huge Minecraft player, but I know a lot about Minecraft, and I know, based on my own interpretation, that you are your own protagonist playing through that game. So it just feels weird to see Jack Black playing as Steve himself. It feels kind of strange. And also, how did the spike hit me? I wasn't even anywhere near it. Anyway, so I'm probably like the only person that's still not really crazy about the new Minecraft movie, because I just don't have that much interest in it. It just doesn't look that great to me. Even with like some of the new like character mobs and characters they've shown off in it, their own live action adaptation. But then again, I'm one of those people that really have always felt, I've always felt like the Minecraft movie should have just been animated. But hey, at least Minecraft's at least getting an animated Netflix movie, or it's a series. I don't remember which. I don't mean to be rambling, but I kind of just want to get my thoughts out a little bit about what I think about the Minecraft movie. Anyway, so if anybody actually does care about the Minecraft movie, and you did, more power to you. I'm obviously not going to stop you from going to see it, but it's just something completely off about this movie. It just felt like it shouldn't have been made in the way that it did. But I mean, nevertheless, though, we are still really living in a really great time for adaptations based off of video games. If you would have asked someone, like, maybe, like, if you would have asked someone, like, 31 years ago, if there would have been this amount of movies or shows based off of video games, they would have looked at you like you were really crazy, because that's just the dream that everyone just never thought would ever happen. But look at us now, like, we're rolling in, like, lots of movies based off of video games. It's just, as someone who is a gamer, like, it just feels really awesome. Alright, let's get up here. Another reason why I've never been someone who's been really crazy about Labyrinth Zone is this boss. I think the intent is that you're not supposed to fully be able to defeat Eggman here, but I know there is a way. Like, if there wasn't a way, then the developers of this game wouldn't have made it so that you were able to beat the boss in this stage. But this one... God. Be careful. This is... I will give the developers credit here. This is definitely one of those bosses where it really keeps you on your toes for being able to... for making sure you get through the rest of this entire section without drowning either. So, it's clever in that sight. Clever in that sight? I don't know why I said that. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Just, it's an interesting choice they made for this. There you go. That's what I meant to say. Alright, so that's it for Labyrinth Zone. I'm gonna ask this question now, since I feel like that everybody has their own opinion. And I was trying... I didn't really get a chance to get my thoughts out properly, like, at the beginning for this, but, like, since everybody has their own opinions, like, for zones in the first Sonic game, and actually for all Sonic games in general, leave a comment below and tell me as to what is your favorite zone from Sonic 1. I'm genuinely really curious to know, and I feel like I want to engage with you guys a whole lot more, besides, like, me talking, like, giving my random thoughts out about stuff. So, in the comments, let me know what you think, and just let me know what your favorite zone is from Sonic 1. Personally, if I just had to really choose one, it might have to be the stage here that we're going to be doing next time, like Starlight Zone. It's a zone that has, like, really good music in it. It has a really great set pieces involved for, like, going fast and all the different loops and stuff like that goes in it. That and or maybe Green Hill Zone. Like, look, say what you will about Green Hill Zone being overused a lot in recent Sonic games, as I kind of went over in the last video. But Green Hill Zone is the most iconic stage ever in the Sonic series. It's the one that started it all, and it's just one that you really can't forget about, especially for the amount of times you keep replaying it, especially when you come back to this particular game. So it's either Starlight Zone, Green Hill, or maybe Spring Yard Zone. Those are the three that come to mind when I think of really great stages for Sonic 1. But again, that's just my opinion. So yeah, guys, that's basically all for today. I hope you all really enjoyed this one, and honestly, this is probably my favorite video I've made so far for the series, just for the amount of things I was able to talk about here. But also, just for playing through, like, Spring Yard Zone again. Again, I really do like that stage, especially the music. It's a really great track to listen to. But, yeah, so you guys know what's coming next. We're obviously going through Starlight Zone, and I think we only have one more zone afterwards, which I think is Scrap Brain Zone, I think it is. And then, yeah, we'll be done with Sonic 1. So, yeah, so it's not going to be too much longer before we finally get to, I was about to say Sonic 2, but then I remembered that Sonic Origins has a interesting order for, like, which game comes next. And instead of going into Sonic 2, apparently we're going to be going into Sonic CD, which I am going to have a lot to talk about for Sonic CD when we get into that. But I'll leave that, obviously, for the video when we get into Sonic CD. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all really enjoyed. Make sure to leave a comment below and a like. And, of course, subscribe to see the rest of the series as it goes on. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care.